Welcome back to my off-grid base camp. This is the most amazing part of it all, my terrace. The sun is setting down, so I'm not laying down sunbathing anymore. But before we run out of light, I thought that I should make another video. And as of late, I had this idea running through my brain, which I would like to share, of intentional communities, communal living, and why it so often fails. And so, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm promoting the Balkans, trying to spread the message, spread the word, so that ideally young people come here to do something like I am doing, you know, buy an old house, repair it, open a little workshop, have a little garden. There is literally unlimited possibilities in what you can do. Tourism related activities, climbing, waterfalls, rafting, fishing, hunting. I think really like the area of interest can be broad. And if by any chance you know somebody who this lifestyle would fit or suit, please share them my video with, because as of late it was terrible. The views are down massively since the Iran war. I don't know why. Maybe I said something bad and the algorithm doesn't like me now. So I would appreciate any thumbs up or anything like that to boost the AI algorithms a little bit. Thank you very much in advance. Basically, what is in our modern day era times the most famous sort of community or movement, first that comes to my mind are basically the hippies. The first, in a way, post-industrialization movement to go back to nature, back to the roots. Communities sprung up. People started growing their food, sitting around fire, smoking weed or whatever. And why did it fail? Okay, some of the communities that had certain structures, they surely survived in one way or another, or are still surviving because they do have some economical structure system and they are actually being productive. It's not just like some half guru attracting people like, hey, come sing songs with me in the forest. We'll be dancing naked around the fire. There's nothing wrong about it, but it is not enough for long-term planning and basically to build something. As much as an anarchist I am, you need to have some kind of structure, rules, right? Anarchy, by the way, doesn't mean no rules, it just means no rulers. If you voluntarily, agree on certain rules, then you should also follow them. So, when I came here 5 years back, I envisioned that my mission is to bring as many people here as possible. The idea was, because now we get to the structure a little bit of how I envision that the community could actually exist and function. Let me just now focus on Serbia, since this place is located in Serbia. Bulgaria is just over the mountain for those interested in Bulgaria. So, it depends. Let's say uh, there is this geographical region, where there are cheap houses that I'm promoting, and people from around the world, they send me emails, comments, and I do see interest from all sorts of people from all walks of life. Um, really, like, I I don't know where to start. All the nationalities from a lot of continents. Not many people from Southern America, but okay, they have enough space over there. But basically, the main idea is that out of all the countries in Europe that I was interested in, now Serbia stands out, right? Because of the rules that they created, immigration, ownership rights, and so on. They are kind of favorable towards what I am trying to do. I don't know if you knew it, but Serbia was, if not the first country in the world that abolished slavery and gave the land back to the people under one of the kings, who I think was called Miloš. The local cadastre is well-known thing, and the land has been parcelized. If you look at the Serbian cadastre map, you see that it is unbelievable. It's unbelievable piece of work. I guess one day I want to have it on my wall because um, it is crazy. Like every single square meter somewhere in the forest, you know, you would say like, yeah, who's interested? That has, you know, owner, structure, information, all of that. So basically, we don't have to create anything new here. We work with what the government created already. Like a lot of people go really into the middle of nowhere and then they buy a big piece of land. And then they divide it into parcels, sell it to individual like owners under sometimes weird schemes, partial ownership, timeshares, and this kind of stuff. Whereas here, you get one-on-one, like 100% ownership. Okay, you pay taxes to the government. They're small. But that's basically like understandable because they do track the records. They do take the records of who owns what. And, in a way, they protect you from theft of property. It's very hard to steal this house from me. You would have to do like a big legal trick somehow, and the government would have to be involved. So, somebody can bulldoze it, but that piece of land is still mine. So, from this perspective, that is already done, like, so there is no need to create anything new. A lot of things basically already work. How long they're gonna work, that's a different topic, but for now they work. So, as with other international communities or projects that raised and failed, this totally, this problem doesn't exist. So basically, property ownership gives you the right to stay. So you're buying yourself entry ticket into the community called Serbia now. Okay, my territorial influence is way smaller. Southeastern Serbia is where I operate, and that's where I'm trying to bring people in before the prices double, triple over the next year or two. So honestly, this window of opportunity will not be here forever. I said it in many videos already, but I say it again. If you're interested in cheap properties in the Balkans, you have maximum year or two because it's gonna double. If something of 10,000 is cheap for you, the same thing for 20. Will it be cheap or not anymore? That's the question. So then my idea is, of course, that I don't need somebody from the internet that I don't know personally to build a house right next to me. So I see him every day. It's not in my interest. It's not in other people's interest. Or maybe it would, but certainly not in mine. But what I am very happy to do is to find somebody property maybe over the mountain, 20 kilometers away. You know, I know that that person exists. They know that I exist. If there is a need, hey, my roof fell down. Can you help me? 1 week We need to work hard because the rain's gonna come. Then there is somebody to help you with urgent urgent thing, so urgent issue. This is the idea of my community within the legal framework of Serbia, using their law, not breaking it, working within it, and building basically on top of it whatever we want to do. Or, I mean, I have my own agenda, other people have their agenda. If I want to have a little blacksmith workshop under this terrace, who's gonna stop me, So, like this, I can envision a very interesting, sustainable way of bringing similar minded people together and yet giving them incentives. Actually, Serbia gives them incentive on its own because of the right of ownership. Like, since you own something 100%, you're basically motivated to work on it, to improve it. It's yours, you worked hard for it, so you want to make it better. It's common sense, like other person's house is of no interest of mine. If I'll do any repairs, he will have to pay for it. But here, because it's mine, like, I don't like something, I go and happily work to improve it, change it, and so on. So this gives you some kind of structure that already exists that people can kind of lean onto and build upon. So I see this as enormous opportunity. If this idea somehow resonates with you, check the links in the description. I still have few properties for sale until I will totally update the whole menu, and that's probably gonna happen in a month or two maximum. In 2 months' time, I should have some brand new, fresh, off the boat properties. So make sure you subscribe because I'll definitely be informing about important developments here in some videos. Leave a like if you've been part of some community and share your experience. I would really like to know if, especially some failures, because it's best to learn from failures. If you've been part of some community and it totally failed, what was the biggest sort of element that killed the vibe and everybody left, disappeared into their own lives? So this is kind of how I am envisioning that my project should grow. Independent agents on their own, knowing about each other, decentralized, like-minded community, community light, nothing like, singing kumbaya together, nothing like that. Maybe a monthly meetup, weekly maximum for the really motivated ones, some dinner on Friday night or something. But I think like monthly is actually doable, easier. People share what new projects they work on, who wants to cooperate or meet more often, they find a way, So yeah, this will be it. Thank you for watching, and until next time, do widzenia.